Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today, including Bob Lenarduzzi from the Whitecaps, standing by. Brought to you by our friends at Whistler Golf Club, opening May the 9th. Just before we get to Bob Delaney's OK Tire in Langley and Aldergrove inbox from Postman 5, maybe Pedersen should take up the same training regime as Messi's bodyguard and consider that earning $3 million out of 11.6. That was pretty impressive, you have to admit it. Bob Lenarduzzi joining us now, Vancouver Whitecaps Club Liaison. Caps versus Lionel Messi and Inter Miami tonight at BC Place. Bob joins us now. Bob, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are the both of you?
Lovely. Very good. Help me out here, Bob. My memory's not serving me well. Did you play against Pele when he came into Vancouver with the Whitecaps and he was with the Cosmos?
Yes, I did in 1978.
Wow.
And Beckenbauer was also with the Cosmos at that time. But it was a game where we had a full house at the old Empire Stadium, 32,000 people, and no one was really giving us much of a chance. And it's one of the games that sticks out most in my mind from my career. We actually won the game 5-3. And what it did was give us a boost in ongoing attendance after that, because people, I think, realized, okay, well, they must be half decent, so let's get up and watch them. And this game tonight actually does mirror that game quite a bit. You've got Messi, who's the current Pele, and the dialogue is who is the best player of all time, and certainly both of those two are in the running for that. But very exciting night.
What's it like to be on the same pitch as somebody that famous, somebody that respected, somebody that talented? I guess if it was me, I'd be looking at the guy. I'd almost want to run up and get an autograph with him while the game was going on.
Well, that happens at the end of that game. Everybody was trying to get close to Pele, not to mark him, but to try to be beside him when the referee blew the final whistle so they could get his jersey. But it's hard to describe, because you don't want to be too awestruck that you don't respect and play as well as you possibly can. But it is hard to do that, because you're on the same pitch as at that time, the greatest player in the world. And but you get over that and you realize it is a game, and make the most of the opportunity, and try and perform at both as an individual and as a team to the highest of your capabilities.
5-3, 5 goals. Did Bob Lenarduzzi score in that game?
No.
I know it wasn't your role.
Rick told you to ask that question, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, I didn't score, but a local guy, Buzz Parsons, got 2. Buzzy White Shoes Parsons. And Derek Posse got 2, and I can't remember who got the other one, but it ended up being a great night for us for the reasons I mentioned at the outset, is in that people were coming out to watch them, and I think they were impressed with us enough to come back, and attendance certainly started to rise after that game.
Hey, Bob, I don't know if he's going to play tonight or not. We're all hoping he is, but last year he didn't show up. What happened last year? There were so many people mad, including this guy to my right. What? Why
do you have to throw me under the bus?
You called him a weasel. You called him a weasel, Bob. What happened last year? Why did he not come?
It's hard to say. There's a lot of different theories, but I honestly feel that he's not a fan of turf. He's 37 years old now, and playing on that turf requires probably more rest and recovery. And but the two situations were totally different, because it was a league game, and he was taking games off throughout the season, and long travel to get to Vancouver. playing on turf, and I think that's what actually happened. But this one is totally different. He's actually rested in the league games, and played in all of the CONCACAF Cup matches. So clearly they have made this a priority. They'd love to go and win the CONCACAF Club Championships. As a result of that, you get a berth in the Club World Championships, which are kicking off this year in the United States. So it's a big deal, and so I don't know whether he's starting or not, but the fact that he's here, I think he's going to start, and I'm sure in their minds they're thinking, okay, if we can go out, and get a couple of goals ahead, then we can rest him. He probably won't play on the weekend wherever they're playing, and will be rested for the return match next Wednesday in Miami.
All right, Bob, the Whitecaps, number one in the MLS, leading the league in goals with 17. That's with Ryan Gauld out. New coach. Talk about the great success this year. Like, what's going on?
Well, if you consider the club went up for sale
Yeah.
just before Christmas, and just after that into the new year, we lost our Scottish international DP because he wanted to return to England, and we hadn't hired a coach at that point. And Jesper Olsen comes in the same day he's introduced to the media. He's actually on a plane to Spain for preseason, and that's the first meeting they had. So if you consider all of that, it really doesn't allow for your mind to go to the place that we are right now. As to your point, we're top in MLS, not just in our division, but overall in the league. We're ahead of Miami, and you have a coach that you'd think would need to take some time to familiarize himself with the players and adopt his philosophy on the players. That hasn't happened. It's been seamless from the time we played the first game in Portland, where we routed them again, and we've been playing 2 games a week with extensive travel to Costa Rica, to Mexico twice, and we're in the semifinals of the CONCACAF Championships. It could not go, and if anyone had said that this is what they expected, they'd be lying, because it's just almost improbable that we're in the situation we're in. And on top of all that, the club's up for sale. There is interest. This can't hurt the on-field success, and putting 54,000 people or whatever it is, 52, 53, 54. It's going to be a great night, and it's been a great season thus far. And let's hope the results keep coming.
I don't know how much you can say or how much you know, Bob, but how encouraged are you by what's being reported that there's more than one offer out there, or more than one interested party out there regarding the sale of the team, and it sounds like they want to keep the team in Vancouver?
That appears to be the theme right now, and I and I'm sure a lot of people in this province would be happy to hear that. It feels like it's getting to the stage where something could materialize, and if in fact that means the team is staying in the city, then it will be a huge gift to not just, I don't think, soccer fans in British Columbia and Canada, but I think people in general. And I've heard people say we can't have the Whitecaps leave, and it's easy to say, but you need people to step up, and it appears as though that is the case.
And I realize who I'm talking to you, and I know you grew up near this place, but would and there's all this talk out there, but would a stadium on the old Peony grounds work?
I think it would, and you have transit as an issue. Well, I think if you've got a brand spanking new stadium there, people will get there. I don't think that'll be an issue, and you can sort out shuttles from SkyTrain stations and whatnot. That to me is an overstated point. Everything else, I think it just, from the history of the P&E grounds, and not just the fact that we started in 1974 at Empire Stadium, but the place across the street from the racetrack. Was a place that's not many people will know of, and you may, Donnie.
Yes.
Callister Park.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was the home of the top level of soccer, and the majority of the original Whitecaps players that started in 1974 came from that league, including my brother, who was one of them. And so there's a lot of history there. It's a fairly central location. I think it would be a fantastic opportunity for the club to grow, given that you'd have the revenue streams that we just don't have right now. So it's an exciting conversation. Still nothing to confirm yet, but let's hope between ownership that wants to keep the club here and that opportunity that it creates an excitement for the people that could potentially get involved to take this thing to an even higher level.
My earliest sports memory was watching my brother-in-law Joe Sally play at Callister Park for the Vancouver Firefighters. I think they were playing Columbus, Bob.
Well, if they were playing Columbus, there's a good chance there would have been a riot in the game, because that happened. The police were often having to be called to calm people down. I grew up a half a block away from Callister Park. I spent most of my time there. I was a ball boy, and if the ball went out and over the fence on the Renfrew Street side, my job was to run outside and try and get it back. And most of the time I did. But yeah, it would be, certainly from my perspective, it would be like going home again.
This has been great. Hey, by the way, did Pele have a bodyguard like Messi does?
No.
How do you know that?
Because
no, we know Messi has one. We don't know if Pele had one.
Well, I'm assuming that he did, but I don't know for sure. But certainly he, at that time, when he came to the United States to participate with the Cosmos in the NASL, he would still be. He's a recognizable face, so I'm sure he did. But Rick, if you're telling me he did, then
the guys back then were tougher, Bobby. The guys back then, they're too soft now. They're too soft, the athletes, and you know it. The guys back in the 70s, 80s were tougher.
You don't have to answer that, Bob.
Yeah, no, I think I will defer. Yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks. I really appreciate that commentary, Rick. That's much appreciated. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for this, Bob. All the best going forward, and certainly tonight.
Thank you very much. Bye, guys.
You bet.